here's the thing. I don't know about other crafts.
Right.
In comedy, stand-up comedy, you can't skip no steps. You're not gonna go from first grade to third grade grade to seventh grade to ninth grade. You're gonna get every step along the way. Now,
I need a comma to talk. Stack it up and then I put it all in the vault. I'm limping around this bit like Red Fox, but I'm not, cause a young nigga gotta keep the gun when I walk.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Comma Conversations. If this is your first time tuning into the podcast, Comma Conversations has a dual meaning, right? The first comma is because we're embracing the duality of people's lives. We live in this world where everybody trying to put you in a box, you this or that. You might be a social activist, and then you can never make a mistake ever because you're supposed to be perfect. Or you're an entrepreneur, but you're supposed to not care about your community. Now, we embracing the commas in our lives. We can be multiple things. And the second part of comma conversations is the more obvious thing, and this is that. We trying to get to these fucking commas. We trying to get to this money. We trying to see our community successful. We tired of being on the bottom, and we bringing guests on the platform who
we tired of this shit. Okay, we want commas. All right,
we want this money.
Now,
so
the biggest check I seen was 2 commas. I seen 2 commas on the check.
Two is different.
But there's more commas to be had.
Come on now.
It's more commas, and everybody that's watching this feels the same way. I know. And listen, here's the deal. Mostly everybody watching this has seen at least 1 comma.
Right.
You have seen at least 1 comma.
Right.
Now, the goal is to find out, how do I reach the next comma? And I'm gonna tell you how. I'm Caleb. I'm feeling
Come
good
on,
tonight.
Tell me. I didn't even get to introduce the brother. D-Lay, y'all know it's D-Lay in the building, man.
We knee deep in this thing, Caleb.
Right.
So here's the thing, and this is what I honestly believe, man. I believe that anything that you're trying to attain more of in this situation, commas, it depends on what is your social vibe like? What is your circle like? Because I believe to get to the next level, it's always another group of people that's probably in our circle that can help us. The problem is we don't utilize our resources. Like if you just look through your phone, out of all the numbers you've accumulated over the years, there is somebody that can help you get to the next comma. The problem is you fall with the ego, you fall with the pride. If you're trying to get to the next comma,
you got to scrap all that shit.
You got to put that behind, man. Listen, what ego?
Right.
What ego?
Right.
Ask. Utilize the resources that you have. A lot of us don't even ask.
Yeah, close mouth.
Friends that's doing way better than you.
Yup.
Everybody has, unless you just the main cat, then you don't have a big enough circle. But you need to be able to utilize the people that are around you in order to get to that next level, in order to get to that next comma.
Yeah.
So utilize the resources that's right there in you.
Right. Now let me ask you a question. As somebody who's a comedian, but also an entrepreneur, what's maybe some gems that you could give to people who are trying to come up in the comedy game, or really just any entrepreneurial venture? Because I see that, you not just have the comedy shows, you got the merchandise, you got different products that you're selling to people. So you capitalizing on other avenues other than just, one lane. Why is that important? And what's some advice you could give to up and coming people in the game with that?
Great question, Caleb. I'm glad you asked. First of all, my son's name's Caleb, so we have a bond already.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, okay. Every Caleb I know is sharp. I've never met a dumbass Caleb. Every Caleb that you know is sharp. He's athletic or he's intellectual.
Right.
Or he's both.
Or
bottom
both.
line. So I think the first thing you as far as being an entrepreneur, you have to know who you are. Because if you don't know who you are and you fall into the lay of the land of entrepreneurship, if you don't know who you are, then the people that are around you or the people that they can define you. And that's the worst thing to be defined by somebody and you start to believe that that's who you are. So knowing who you are, if you're selling a product, you have to be confident in what this product is that you're selling.
Yeah.
And do your research on the field that you're in. Don't just jump in it. Don't just watch one dude and be like, oh, Caleb did it, so I'll do it this way. Watch different entrepreneurs. Right. Watch how people, how they navigate their lifestyles and see like what fits me. And you piece it from here, you take a piece from here, you take a piece, and you just put together what fits you. Right. And because nobody is going to be able to do this on their own. Nobody's going to be able to face entrepreneurship on their own as far as a mindset. You have to use the minds of some of the greats that come before you. Utilize that. And don't be afraid to ask people for help. Hey, man, man, listen to me. We just bought a new house.
Oh,
I had a guy coming over. Thank you. I had a guy coming over AT&T today, to hook up the internet. Right. Listen to me carefully, Caleb. He's here to set up the internet. Right. You know what I asked him? Out of nowhere. Hey, man, you know anybody who know how to do floors?
And what he probably say? Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Yup. Yup. I'm telling you, networking.
Because you ask. Because listen, you cannot be afraid of no.
Yeah.
You cannot be. It's already a no when you don't have it. So you might as well ask and get the real answer.
Yeah. A lot of people, I think, have a low self-esteem to where they don't even want to put themselves in the position to ask. But once you break through that barrier and it's like, no, I'm my biggest fan. I have the confidence to know that I'm the shit. I know who I am. Now I can step in any room. And like you said, the most somebody going to say is no. It's already a no.
It's already a no. Now, you might as well ask and get the real answer.
Right. Now, this is another question that I have for you. So you've been on many, platforms, notoriable, notorious. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Notorious platforms. You've been on Kevin Hart's, Laughing Out Loud. You've been on, Showtime. You've been on HBO's Def Jam comedy. Now, there's a lot of people in, I say, the entertainment industry who are searching to try and get on these, platforms with notoriety. Was that something that you searched out, or were you, tuned into your process and those opportunities arose? How did you get yourself on those platforms?
I'm glad you asked, Caleb. You asked some amazing questions, brother. I think you got a great career in journalism.
Thank you, sir.
The crazy part about all that, Caleb, I never was seeking it. It just happened because I was already locked into my process of getting better at my craft. Right. I wasn't worried about the shine. I wasn't worried about who knows. I personally wanted to get better at stand-up. I would do all type of crowds. I would do clubs. I would do comedy clubs, dance clubs, like people came to party.
Oh, word.
That. And then I didn't fucked up their partying with this goddamn comedy shit.
Right.
So imagine trying to present comedy to an audience that came to dance and have a good time and vibe. And here they didn't stop the music. And now you got to talk and say some funny shit to some people that don't want to hear no funny shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I was putting myself in different positions because I wanted to get better at the craft. And as I started to fall in love with the craft, I started to find myself meeting people that would help me on a path to help elevate and catapult where I was going.
Right.
So when I got Def Jam, the way I got Def Jam, I wasn't even supposed to be on Def Jam. I wasn't, like, according to man, I wasn't. But I'm a spiritual guy. I'm a God-fearing man. I'm a faithful man. If you read my book, Delay the Journey Behind the Smile, it chronicles it shows me from my infant stages to my teenage years to my adult years, and it shows how I really put in the work, and I never took no for an answer. I never worded. I don't even hear no. I know that what I'm doing, God gave me this ability. God gave me this gift. He gave me this talent. Yep. So all I have to do is present it. And once I present it, because I've cultivated and I'm still cultivating. You never stop learning in comedy. You never stop learning. And once you fall in love with the craft, I'm telling you, as cliche as it sounds, once you fall in love with whatever it is that you do, people come in your life and just drop jewels on you that help you advance and it helps you elevate. But you can't. We're in a culture right now, Caleb, and the climate is so, it's instantaneous gratification.
Yeah.
Right. So if it doesn't happen right now, this is bad for me. And we've lost the whole process of becoming.
Yeah, because when you can't step into where you need to be if you're not focused on your process anyway. Like you got to get so good at what you're doing that when you step in a room, it just flows out of you. It's just who you are. It's just a quick little 30-second story. So last year, me and my sister started up a store based right outside of Washington, D.C. And we said we want to have a retail space for Black-owned businesses. And it's called the Black American Market. So now we have over 50 different Black businesses in there. But when we first started out, I'm like, man, how are we going to get the word out about this? We only had like 5 people. It was like just some T-shirts hanging on the walls and some shea butter in glass jars. Like, so I'm reaching out to all these platforms like, oh, can we get on? Can we get on? I'm trying to talk to the news. I'm trying to talk to the radio stations. I'm talking to everybody. And, I'm just getting the desk of people saying like, oh, we might put it in the queue and, we'll check your story out. So I was like, all right, you know what? Fuck that. I just delved into from a grassroots level. How can we make this the absolute best process for people? How can we make it to where when people walk in the store, they feel like it's a family reunion? So that way we attract people and we attract the community and we're actively funneling money back into our community. The same stations that I was reaching out to, they news anchors started reaching out to me. They started reaching out to us. And it so I'm just saying I can testify to exactly what you're saying, because when you invest in that process, those doors that God want open for you is going to be opened. What's up, everybody? This is Caleb from the O2 Collection Media. And listen, we all know we're living in a world about attention, right? Everything is about getting traction, getting your likes up, your comments up, your views up, your metrics up. But once you start to get a little traction with your business, how do you convert those views, those comments, those metrics into actual dollars in your bank account? That's what we do at the O2 Collection Media. We not only produce high quality content for our customers, but we show them how they can get those views, those metrics into converting actual sales for their products or for their services. It's all about the back end. It's all about converting people that see your posts into actual dollars and actual customers. So if you want to learn how to do that and work with us, you can go to the o2collection.com. You can fill out our contact form and we can get started.
Absolutely. And like, I don't take on the mantra, and a lot of comedians do, that haven't peaked to that level of stardom yet. But they have this mentality that, oh man, Hollywood overlooking me right now. You know what I mean? They won't put me in no shows. They won't put me in no movies. They won't put me in no TV shows. You know what I mean? I am not thinking about that.
Right.
I'm not waiting on somebody to put me on. We're in an information age.
Right.
We have all type of platforms, and whatever you do, you can present it. Right. I'm not waiting on Hollywood to say, hey, I think he's good enough. You know what I do? I create stuff for the fan base that I have right now. I got a new show that's coming out in October. It's called Ephraim. I'm going to be dropping it on YouTube and Facebook. And I remember when I first made mention of it, and the lady that was interviewing me said, so whenever you drop this, like, what network is gonna pick it up? Is Netflix gonna pick it? Is Stars gonna pick it up? I said my fans are gonna pick it up.
Right.
When I drop it.
What are we talking about?
What are we talking about? Why are y'all hanging y'all hats on these entities that don't even know you?
Right. And that you don't own. That we don't even own. Like, we need somebody else to validate it.
Exactly. I've been doing comedy 21 years. I've cultivated an audience that's familiar with me. They know me. Why am I trying to appease some conglomerate to take on my project when I've already created the project? I've already casted the project. I've shot it. I directed it. I wrote it. Why am I waiting on them?
Yeah, why do I need somebody else? Right.
So anybody that's watching this, stop waiting.
Yeah.
You ever waited on somebody? It's never fast enough.
Right.
It's never fast enough. So what I decided to do is I'm going to take responsibility for my own career. Yeah. If I know this is a gift that God has given me, all I have to do is keep taking the steps. But we get discouraged because, again, we are in an instantaneous gratification community now. And that's not good. Listen, yes, we would love to have it right now, but it is so much appreciated. It's so much more appreciated when you take all of those steps. Because here's the thing. I don't know about other crafts. Right. In comedy, stand-up comedy, you can't skip no steps. You're not going to go from first grade to third grade to seventh grade, seventh grade to ninth grade. You're going to get every step along the way. Now, we're in a different climate now with social media. Right. It's boosting fame for a lot of social media guys and females. That's great. But with stand-up comedy, I don't care how many followers you got.
Yeah, it's a different vibe when you got to stand in front of people and be funny for an extended period of time.
An hour.
Right. Yeah.
60 minutes.
Longer than not 10 seconds, 30 seconds.
Not 15 seconds. Yeah. You have to present your stuff for 60. Can you do it? Or an hour and 30. Right. You see, that is what starts to separate the stand-up comedian from the social media comedian. Right. Now that social media comedian is not to be discounted as well. Right. Because to amass a following like that, it's going to take a little work. Yeah. But it's not going to be the same work that you're doing on the social media platform versus the stand-up. Because stand-up, you can't cheat that stage. You have to hit the stage. You have to get the reps in. You have to get comfortable. You have to find your voice. All these things. You're not going to just grab those things because you got 2 million followers. Yeah. That's not how that goes.
Don't come automatically.
Like I said, it's not to discount the social media comedians because, man, that's a task. To come up with content and to present it every day, 2-3 times, that's a task. So I'm not discounting that, but at the same time, there's a different work ethic that comes with being a stand-up comedian.
Right, right. I think that you're somebody who is doing both right now too.
I'm a hybrid. I am a hybrid.
I see that, there's comedians in the past who didn't really change with the game. I see you as being somebody who changed with the game and adapted. So you working in both categories right now because you have a massive social media following. You active on social media. You always going viral on social media. But at the same time, you stepping up and you saying, all right, you're not losing the skills that you learned over decades in the game at the same time.
You're right. And like you just said, a lot of times people want to put you in a box. Oh, he's this. Right. And because he's this, he should not be doing that. And I refuse to let anybody put me in a box. D-Lady, what do? I do everything. I do everything. I write, I produce, I act, I'm a stand-up, I'm an author. Anything that I think that I want to take on, that's just a Virgo mentality. I'm going for it.
Right.
I'm going to go for
like
it.
That.
So you're not going to put me in a box.
Straight like that.
I need a calmer to talk. Stack it up and then I put it all in the vault. I'm limping around this bit like Red Fox, but I'm not, cause a young nigga gotta keep the gun when I walk. Look.